WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for staying up with us tonight. New policies for the police department and the state flag. Those were the topics of discussion at tonight's city council meeting. In a 5-1 vote, the Columbus City Councilman approved a resolution to ask legislators to replace the current state flag. Councilmen say the flag has a darkened past. Also, in a unanimous vote tonight, city leaders approved the use of force policy. This was brought up last week in a virtual town hall. Columbus Police Chief Fred Shelton presented rules and his standard operating procedure that officers must follow while on duty. Chokeholds, making implicit bias, and having a knee on someone's neck will not be allowed. Columbus PD says following recent protests, it's vital officers and the people can trust each other.
Also, if you with another officer and you see that officer is doing wrong, and then there's a violation, you can be charged with that officer also for not asking that officer not to continue doing what's wrong.
Columbus PD will follow the new procedures starting immediately. Lowndes County District Attorney Scott Colomb has made good on his promise to release all available evidence in the case of a white officer who fatally shot a black man during a 2015 traffic stop. One piece of that evidence obtained by the Associated Press is body cam footage of a chase between Kenyon Boykin and Ricky Ball on August 26, 2015, almost 2 months prior to the fatal shooting. The video reportedly shows Boykin and Officer Max Branch in the police car chasing Ball and a female passenger. In another incident, Boykin and Branch, along with Officer Yolanda Young, would stop a car in which Ricky Ball was a passenger for a missing tag light on October 16th of 2015. Now, in that stop, Boykin said Ball ran. The officer said he fired his weapon while chasing Ball because Ball appeared to point a gun at him. A handgun was found near Ball's body. Boykin was fired from CPD after the shooting. Colomb transferred the case to then Attorney General Jim Hood's office in 2016. A grand jury indicted Boykin on manslaughter charges. On May 28th of this year, Attorney General Lynn Fitch dropped the case with prejudice, meaning it cannot be revived. People are calling for the president of the Lowndes County Board of Supervisors, Harry Sanders, to resign after his comments on slavery and racial issues. A quote from today's Commercial Dispatch by Harry Sanders reads in part, "Whoever owned them took care of them, fed them, and clothed them." It also stated slaves didn't have to do anything. Now, the comments come a day after the Board of Supervisors voted against a motion to move a Confederate statue to Friendship Cemetery, where many Confederate soldiers are buried. The Lowndes County NAACP is asking for Sanders to step down from his position, and several others as well. At tonight's Columbus City Council meeting, Mayor Smith and a councilman say Sanders' comments cut deep.
I mean, that's a slap in the face to every black citizen in the city of Columbus and Lowndes County for an elected official to make racist statements like that. It's time out for it. And that I hope the citizens within the city of Columbus, both black and white, step up to the plate and say enough is enough. We're tired of this nonsense. It's foolishness to make these racist comments.
That shows the divisiveness, and as a black citizen, as a Christian, and you know, every white American that is a Christian should be condemning what he said.
I spoke with Harry Sanders today on the phone, and he told me he had no comment on what he told the Commercial Dispatch. I also spoke with Supervisor Tripp Harston, who says he doesn't agree with what Sanders said. Harston, Holloman, and Sanders were the 3 supervisors who voted against moving the Confederate monument. Another high-profile symbol is getting a lot of attention these days. A new poll shows just how divided Mississippians are over the state flag. The governor and other leaders have said the people should vote any changes. Courtney Ann Jackson breaks down the poll and changing opinions.
Let's look at the shifts. The 2001 ballot referendum vote favored keeping the flag 2-1, with more than 64% of the voters rejecting the idea of a new flag. A 2017 Chisholm Strategy poll indicated 49% would keep it, 41% replace it. And this month, that changed to a 46-45 split.
Always a margin of error with these polls. basically it's a coin toss right now. If the vote happened tomorrow, no one knows which way it would go.
But there are some clear splits among age, race, and political party lines.
You know, older voters preferring to keep the flag by over a 2-to-1 margin, whereas younger voters, 52% want to change it.
The latest poll also shows a majority of African Americans wanting to replace the flag and strong Republican support for keeping it. Millsap's Department of Government and Politics Chair Dr. Nathan Schrader points out
the poll's a snapshot in time, right? But and the value of this is to be able to do what this poll is doing, tracking change over time. And that in and of itself is valuable.
Jackson State political science professor DeAndre Ori notes that the timing of the poll should also be considered when thinking about what this may mean.
One question is this based on the current climate? Are they responding to being more sympathetic to African Americans, knowing that African Americans do not support the flag? Or are attitudes changing to where people really want to see the flag come down?
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
The ballots are still being counted in Aberdeen for the city's runoff. One of the races we're watching is the police chief's race. Now, incumbent Henry Randall has 693 votes so far. Tony Tillman coming in with 637. Right now, the votes from 3 wards have been counted. We're still waiting for one more ward. We'll, of course, update you on air and online at WCBI.com.
What a great Tuesday we had weather-wise. Lots of sunshine, some friendly clouds. Our time-lapse network caught the action earlier today and the setting sun in some locations here. Great weather this evening. Humidity is low. Temperature still very comfortable, upper 60s to around 70s. That wind has gone calm. And lows tonight will be down to around 60. Some of you will be a little bit warmer, a little bit cooler than that, but a great June evening for us. Now, for you in Calhoun City tomorrow, we start out around 60, but that means some of you could be in the upper 50s. As we get to the afternoon, about 85 degrees for you. And go ahead and wash the car tomorrow. Give it a chance Thursday, Friday, too. Our rain chances are not 0 tomorrow or Thursday, maybe a sprinkle. But I think the next best chance of any widespread moisture will come early next week with that front that's way out there across the high plains. Your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Across the country, some states are seeing rebounds in COVID-19 cases, even as they try to reopen their economies. But there could be some good news on the horizon. A medical study is hinting at a drug that could show promise as a treatment. CBS's Manuel Bajorquez has the latest.
It's being called a medical breakthrough in the fight against the coronavirus. The world's largest trial of existing treatments found a cheap, decades-old anti-inflammatory steroid called dexamethasone reduced deaths by 20% in COVID-19 patients on oxygen. Oxford scientists say they found even more success with the sickest patients on ventilators.
What we saw was really quite remarkable. In ventilated patients with COVID-19, the drug dexamethasone, so 10 days of treatment with that, which is a tablet or an injection, reduces the risk of death by about 35%.
Dr. Scott Krakauer was not part of the trial, but received dexamethasone in April when he battled the virus himself in New York City.
So is this a game changer?
I think it is a game changer. I mean, it was the first time in I felt like almost a month. I stopped coughing for an hour. It's such a, I don't know, for me, a mind-blowing moment.
CBS News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. John LaPook.
The fact that they're saying there was a statistically significant decrease in mortality with dexamethasone is very encouraging.
News about the treatment comes as one of the prediction models used by the White House now projects 200,000 COVID-related deaths in the U.S. by October. 19 states are reporting increases in average daily new cases compared to 2 weeks ago. Today, Texas saw a record jump of more than 2,600. Florida has reported nearly 15,000 new cases over the last 10 days. But today, in a Wall Street Journal op-ed, Vice President Mike Pence called reports of a possible second wave overblown. Despite record new cases, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says he will not close the state.
To suppress a lot of working-age people at this point, I don't think would likely be very effective.
Still, Miami's mayor put the next phase of reopening on hold due to recent spikes. Austin's mayor extended a stay-at-home order, and Nevada's governor said the state was not ready to enter phase 3. There was encouraging news about the economy. Retail sales jumped nearly 18% last month, a record, as more businesses and restaurants reopened. The question is whether that comes at the expense of social distancing. Manuel Bajorquez, CBS News, Miami.
COVID-19 related shutdowns impacted not only businesses and schools, but it also affected recruiting efforts with the U.S. Army. Allie Martin checks in at a local recruiting station to see how the new normal looks for recruiters and applicants.
The Tupelo Army recruiting station shut down in March and reopened in May with a lot of new procedures in place for applicants. There's hand sanitizer, masks and gloves, and also widespread use of new technology.
We're not trying to cut quality, but what we've done is move to more of a virtual environment.
Captain Joshua McFarland oversees the U.S. Army's Tupelo recruiting station. Recruiting efforts did not stop during the COVID-19 shutdowns, but the Army adapted. Temporary holds were put on sending new recruits to basic training, pre-screening was done over the phone, and applicant processing went virtual for a time. Recruiters continue to use technology such as Zoom and team meeting.
The recruiter is developing a relationship with those applicants, right? They're interested to know what it is that is in the background of these applicants, why it is that they're coming in, and why they're looking at the Army, and the joy of social media and virtual side is that you can do it from 3 hours away.
Sergeant First Class Evangeline Chisholm says COVID-19 has changed the way recruiting is handled, but she looks forward to telling applicants how the Army has impacted her life.
Just all the benefits that you're able to get. I'm raising a family on my own without a hardship, so I'm very thankful for it. I was even able to buy, when you buy your first home, it's amazing. I'm on number 2, so I'm really proud of being in the military.
She is also excited to be part of the first ever virtual Army National Hiring Days.
From June 30th to 2 July, we're going to be looking for people who are qualified to join the military, join the Army, and get out of your community. You even have a chance to get a bigger bonus than you might get.
The U.S. Army may be changing the way it conducts some of its business and recruiting because of modern technology, but the time-tested skills, discipline, and values taught by the Army will never change. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
We're going to send things back over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Keith, we keep saying it a copy and paste kind of forecast right now.
I'm getting bored.
Hey, don't say that. Don't say that just yet.
I know, right? Eventually it's going to come back. We will have some rain come our way in the next 7 days. We'll show you that coming up. Our first alert forecast tonight, we've got a spring chick, Diana, helping us out this evening. Hello to you, and hello to this forecast tomorrow. Pretty nice too. Mid-80s. Your full forecast is next.
AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Digging through the old records tonight, and we find where we could be for this time of year. This week, the old records in the 100s, as warm as 107. So that's how warm we can be this time of year in mid-June. Thankfully, we're not that warm, so savor another great day tomorrow. 84, 85, 86 degrees here in the Golden Triangle area. Partly cloudy, winds from the northeast at about 5 to 10. 85 for you in Tupelo, 83 Iuka, a little bit cooler for you. West Alabama, 85, 86, a pretty good bet as well. Now, we can't rule out a stray shower or a sprinkle here. I think most, if not all, spots will remain dry, so if you're heading out to area lakes, don't let that worry you. Enjoy a great day. Temperatures will be very warm with highs in the 80s. Now we will peel back things and look way out in the Atlantic Ocean. There's really not a lot going on, and that's certainly good news. No tropical development here at this time. We have some dust blowing off Africa, and this is dust and some sand. Basically, it's going to help suppress some tropical development in the near term, so we don't have to worry about anything sinister like that in the Gulf of Mexico, in the open Atlantic, in the Caribbean Sea. We do have an area of low pressure out there in the Carolinas. This thing has been prolific. It's slow moving. It's really not going anywhere. Just offshore, very heavy rain over the last 3 days, but even inland in North Carolina, parts of Virginia and the mountains here, several inches of rain, some flooding issues over there. But we are on the western side of it, the drier side, the less active side of it. So as this thing continues to spin over here, We are on the western periphery of it, so any shower opportunities probably just to our east. But as we mentioned, can't rely on a sprinkle or a rogue shower here tomorrow or Thursday. Clouds will build up during the day, go away during the evening, then come back. And that will be the pattern, the story tomorrow and for Thursday. The muggy air comes on back with southerly flow as we get into the weekend and early next week. And you know what that means. Uncomfortable air, air that you can wear, as they say, as we will start to see that comfort index tick up into the muggy zone as we get into the end of the weekend. And that will also give us a chance for some storms. Maybe a few storms on a spotty basis Sunday afternoon, Father's Day. But most of the weekend is going to be dry, very warm, mid-90s here. We get into the low 90s here starting Friday. Overnight lows getting back in the low 70s. But Monday, Tuesday, as a frontal boundary sags on into the deep south, we'll have all that moisture around. We'll see some scattered summertime storms, something that we should see this time of year. Scott?
Churches that have been empty since March are now filling up again. We take a look at the revival of Sunday services when we come back.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. Churches in Mississippi are starting to meet face-to-face again, but under strict health guidelines. Bobby Martinez talks to two pastors about the revival of in-person services after months of empty sanctuaries.
Uncharted territory.
The transition has been challenging.
But with the plan in place,
it was more about let's get together and let's just figure this out together.
Churches in Mississippi are reopening in the wake of COVID-19, and there is a mixture of excitement and caution.
We still have a number of people in our churches who are concerned about coming back, who are concerned about the safety of coming back. Not only our senior adults and many of them who have health issues, but parents with small children as well.
Calvary Baptist Church reopened for the first time in months last week, and the church's pastor, Dr. Joe Wiggins, tells us the early numbers were low.
We had about 1/4 of our congregation that came back for our in-person service. But I anticipate that we're going to see that slowly increase. Other churches who are already a little bit ahead of us have already seen their attendance kind of creep up a little bit.
At First Christian Church, Pastor Eric Ross says COVID-19 has not only had an effect on services in the sanctuary, but also service outside of the walls.
When will we have our ministries that we have going to the community? Because right now, I mean, we normally feed the elderly twice a month, and we're not able to do that. And we have a ministry where we go to the nursing home, and there's a gentleman that does that every Sunday and leads songs and has a lesson, and he's not able to do that.
But as the writer of Ecclesiastes said, to everything, there is a season.
If you're on the edge, stay home. But if you're ready to go out and start to interact with places and do things, then you're ready to come to church. We need to meet together. The church needs each other as the body of believers. And so if you're ready to come, and we're ready for you.
Now, most churches have been doing their best to keep members informed, but if you have any questions or concerns about your home church, just go ahead and give them a call. A Bulldog basketball standout is taking his talents on a European tour. Tom explains when we come back.
Here's sports with Tom Ebel.
The longest tenured head coach in SEC baseball will continue to add to his resume. Ole Miss locking up Mike Bianco for the foreseeable future. Athletic Director Keith Carter announcing Ole Miss and Bianco have agreed to a 4-year contract extension. That's the maximum allowed for the state of Mississippi. Bianco has become the program's all-time leader in wins in 20 seasons with Ole Miss. Bianco led the Rebels to a 16-1 start in 2020 before the season was cut short and was named the National Coach of the Year by Collegiate Baseball. Starkville native Tyson Carter's time at Mississippi State came to an abrupt halt after senior night, but the Bulldog Guard's basketball career isn't coming to an end there. Carter signing a professional contract to join the Lavrio Aegean Cargo Basketball Club located in Larium, Greece. Carter enjoyed a career year in his senior season at Mississippi State, setting career highs in minutes per game, points per game, and assists per game. That's it for sports. We'll be back right after the break.
Great weather for your Wednesday, mid-80s as we get into your Thursday, a little bit warmer, but still not too bad. 92 Friday, 94 Saturday and Sunday. summer officially here as we get into the weekend, Scott. By Sunday, Father's Day, there will be a chance for a shower or storm, but I think our rain opportunities go up by Monday and Tuesday with a little bit more humidity in the air.
Hey, so if you can, these next few days, man.
And you said you're hitting up the pool again.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. But, man, all these next few days, they need to get out and enjoy it before that humidity creeps back in.
Yeah, great,
sure.
great weather here.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.